My dad says I can't launch rockets anymore without adult supervision. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. You let the rocket colors burst. You send the demons up to the sky and into the afterlife. 'Cause baby, you're a firework with a child like Steven Dorff. He's the same size as adult Steven, and he has no reason. Baby, you're a firework. I'm John Renton with the retro review of 1987's The Gate. Not the sequels. Apparently they made 3 of these, but no, the first Gate with Steven Dorff. Honestly, childlike Steven Dorff. And 11 years later in Blade, I don't really see a difference. Then again, it isn't Steven Dorff from Alone in the Dark. Fuck Uwe Boll for making that in every goddamn video game movie he made. Has no goddamn idea what he's doing. That being said, The Gate was directed by Tibor Takas, who did Christmas romance movies. I mean, just look at his IMDb page. Ice Spiders, I, Madman, and Gate 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's also written by Michael Nankin, who has done television as well as Gate 2. When did the third Gate movie come out? That's really astonishing because this one did decent given the budget and given the fact that it was a Canadian production, which I don't mean with disrespect, but the budget for it was $2.5 million Canadian. I don't know what that would translate to in today's money. You guys can figure it out and let me know in the comments. But yeah, Steven Dorff. Krista Denton. We have Louis Tripp. All the other kids and the Louis Tripps, you better run. Maybe don't say that considering kids are involved here. Kelly Rowan. So also Jennifer, Irwin, not Jennifer Iran, and I ran so far away, I got to get away. So kids end up unwillingly opening a gate to hell, and demons come out of it, and they must find a way to stop it. That's pretty much your lot right there. There is a particular friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, that recommended I retro review this movie. I think he's actually been recommending it, for the last couple of years, and I just got around to it. This is currently on Shudder if you want to check it out. And I will say, for a movie that is nearing 40 years old, enough of this movie holds up. It is very, very 80s. Do a lot of coke and vote for Ronald Reagan. Actually, don't do any drugs and vote for people that are smart. But that is a reference to an MST3K episode. $4.2 million opening, which would be $11.3 million in today's money. And $13.5 million gross, that'd be like about $36 million in today's money, so not bad. I mean, for a $2.5 million Canadian, I mean, even so, $4.2 million, that's enough of an opening, basically, because $2.5 million Canadian is probably $1.7 million US, just guessing. So it's from New Century Entertainment Corporation. And just slam us with the 80s synth, why don't you? So basically, Steven Dorff plays Glenn, not the way Glenn Miller plays. He has a sister, Alexandra, but you can call her Al. Oh yeah, a lot of 80s references here. And there's a nightmare that he basically is having, a reflection of something that happened. Tree falling, and if a tree falls in the yard and no one's around, does it make a sound? Well, yes, because we were watching the movie. Tree's uprooted. The tree house is destroyed, and the tree's being cut up and taken care of. The parents are like, okay, there's a hole in the ground that's going to be covered up. We're going to leave. We're going to go off somewhere. Al, you're in charge. And then demons take over eventually. This movie builds enough suspense that you actually can buy into, caring about the characters a little bit, at least. This does kind of remind me of the type of horror that Lady in White was, in that it's not adult enough for full-fledged adults, but it's too adult for children, yet it's also marketed kind of for that tweener children audience. And this is something about, having the ingenuity of a child and, having the free-form thinking to, while still being a child, we can get out of this, or something can come of this. We can do something about this. There's always a way to fix this. No, there's really not. But basically, Glenn set the house on fire at one point, launching a rocket called the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolts are go. And Then, yeah, the hole in the ground. Terry is kind of an idiot. I mean, he also lost his mother, but Terry also is kind of an idiot. The character, I mean. He finds a geode. Well, it's not from around here, so let's beat it up. Another MST3K reference. If you get that one, I love you guys. You can let me know in the comments if you get any of these references. So, basically, after losing his mother, I mean, that would affect a child, in all honesty. I was rooting for Angus the dog, and then Angus the dog passed away. I assume Angus the dog has been dead for a while, because this was 1987. That would make him a really, really old dog. A really old Shaggy dog. It's still better than a live-action Shaggy Dog movie. That being said, the dog seemed to be having fun because he's a dog. What else can he do? And they end up opening up the geode, and it releases this toxicity smoke. And then all these crystals and everything. And basically they end up opening up the gate. That's the key, or that's something. They don't fully explain really much of anything, but you don't need them to. Terry is listening to some type of metal stuff, and also has an album that it turns out actually it's a bit of a spell book. You play the record backwards, Paul is a dead man, miss him, or you play the lyrics loud enough and eventually you may open up the portal to hell. Somehow. And also, actually, Glenn ends up reading from an Etch-a-Sketch spell book, seemingly, and it's fine. It's fine, don't worry. The dog is dead. Boo! Poor puppy. And this has a breezy pace to it. It builds up the suspense where, yes, it's taking place in one location. So that's obviously how they were able to save money. This might have been one of the templates of taking place in one particular location. I don't mean like Camp Crystal Lake or wherever that was. I mean this takes place right around and inside a goddamn house. So there you go. This is what Annabelle Comes Home should have been. I was way too kind to that movie initially. There was a party. There was Glenn called some guy a gay slur that I'm not going to mention here. Please don't mention it here. If you've seen the movie. So, the Bug Zapper budget for this movie must have been astonishing because, yeah, they had quite the amount of Bug Zappers just going off. They end up sealing the hole, so to speak, with like the old, door paneling from the treehouse, and that's fine. It's all fine. Even the album cover that, has all the demon lyrics and all the ways to summon it. No, that damn rock and roll heavy metal music will be the death of you. And then the Lee sisters show up, I believe. Yep, Laura Lee and Linda Lee. That was Kelly and Jennifer. Look at them now, by the way. Just look at them now. That being said, this is so goddamn 80s that you would be remiss if you didn't just say, God damn, feel like popping in a goddamn cassette tape and wanting my MTV. So, Angus then happens to basically pop up because he is demonic and everything. Because why the hell wouldn't, Angus pop up? I mean, he's still dead, but he's used as a conduit to basically frighten everybody. And then suddenly the demon shows up from under the bed. Sounding like JR doing commentary right now. That's mean. If you're a wrestling fan, you're going to hate me for that. You're also not going to say I'm wrong, but by God. Good practical effects here. There's one point where Glenn sees his parents, but obviously his dad is evil. It's not his parents, and he gouges the guy's eyes out. It's kind of like The Stuff, except the gate is good. And then at one point, Al tries to call for help because you can call or have Al call somebody. That really doesn't work the same as a song. And the phone catches fire. Damn you, AT&T, and your long-distance plan. So, the demons come back with a vengeance. Then they're also very, very tiny. At one point, Terry falls in a goddamn hole because the demon album cover book catches fire. They use the Bible, and then Terry falls in the hole. And these small demons, they're all stop motion, shrieking Ray Harryhausen noises. That's a goddamn deep cut for movie fans. You could literally step on these. You could literally step on all these demons. If you just had some steel-toed boots, you could stop this invasion instantly. Even with just standard shoes, you could stomp on them with your foot, but it's better to use shoes because it's got to be the shoes. I think that was the Nike advertising for MJ. And then they get Terry out, and oh my God, they got rope, and David Carradine instantly wanted to jump in and be part of this role. So, right after that, right after getting Terry out, the smoke is popping out of the hole and everything, and Glenn throws the Bible down, and unwanted destruction happens. That's fitting for the Bible and all that bullshit. And then it seems like everything's fine, except now suddenly bodies are popping out from inside the walls. The internet service providers are in your walls. So these Day of the Dead extras are like, we are pissed and we're not taking it anymore. So first Terry gets taken and then Al gets taken. And Glenn is all on his own. But first, Glenn and Al, before Al is taken, he says, where's the gun? Oh, it's over here. Oh, God, Chris Von Erich and Carrie Von Erich said the same thing, and that's terrible. That's terrible. You had a gun all this time? Oh, wait, you guys don't know how to use it because you're idiots. So no wonder they couldn't fight against a home invasion. And then he realizes, hey, wait a second. I know how I can fix this. I can use the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt R, go. That's not how that works. He's going to battery power the rocket, and he's going to launch it at this weird demon. There's like two demons with blackjack and hookers. At one point, it picks him up and gives him an eye on his hand. Well, yeah, I got to hand it to him. These puns are getting terrible, but I don't care. And Glenn is now trying to fight back. He stabs the demon eye hand with glass, broken glass, because Annie Lennox apparently did not get through to anybody telling them to stop walking on broken glass, even though I don't think that song had come out yet, so probably makes sense why they didn't know that. And Die Hard was still a year away, so nobody knew to stop walking on broken glass. If only Annie Lennox had thought of that song years before. When did that song come out? Was that the early 90s? Let's move on from Annie Lennox, even though I still would. So there's a tornado in the sky, the demons are rolling high, and then the demon pops out, and we get this claymation stop motion thing where he throws Glenn, but Glenn had just launched the rocket into him. And then he went boom, and then Glenn is like, oh my God, the explosions, the house is destroyed, the hole's sealed up, and all this, but we're fucked. Angus is back and alive, by the way. Yeah, Angus is alive. And Al and Terry are alive. That's it. And the dog brings a shoe back from the original hole site. So we basically end up, I don't know why I'm crumpling up these notes. This movie wasn't that bad. But that is the end of that. Implying we are getting the Gate 2 and then the Gate 3. Not the Gate 4, where everybody gets on the floor and does it with the demonic dinosaur. That's the Gate. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.